Well, Paris is on fire. The city's seeing some of its worst riots in half a century. What exactly is going on here? Well, if you turn on the television to other news outlets, you'll see people telling you this is about gas taxes or economic hardship or rising oil prices.
They were fueled by an increase in gasoline tax, but have grown into a fierce fight against declining living standards.
The Yellow Vests had warned that this would be part 3 of a protest against a hike in the fuel tax.
Fury on the streets of Paris as the economic hardship long felt outside the city turned its wealthiest neighborhoods into a war zone.
Oh, they're lying. Now, most of them have no idea because they're not interested in anything that's not happening in Brooklyn. But some of these people talking to you on television know what's actually going on, and they're just not telling you. It's not about rising oil prices. That's false. It's about climate change. It's about the climate agenda. The French gas tax isn't designed to raise money. The president has implemented it for the stated purpose of fighting climate change. Now they're fighting their own citizens instead, because the climate agenda always crushes the middle class, always and everywhere. Chuck Devore understands this. He's vice president for national initiatives at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, and he joins us tonight. Chuck, thanks very much for coming on.
My pleasure.
What's so interesting about this, and it's gotten virtually no coverage, despite being Paris, a city most people have heard of, is that this is a coalition of left and right against the elites, or am I misstating that?
Well, I think you're onto something here, Tucker, and I think it's important to realize that these individuals, the Yellow Vests protesting in France, are really frustrated because they see their government helping poor immigrants from generally North Africa and some from the Middle East, and certainly being on the side of the wealthy elites. But they're being squeezed in the middle. And what we're looking at here is about a 30-cent a gallon gas tax increase, a little less than 10% on what's already about, $3.50 in taxes on gasoline.
Huh. Does that sound familiar at all to you? I mean, is there a political party on our continent that is tied to, say, finance and people on welfare and nobody in between and is seeking to raise carbon taxes to fight global warming? I mean, I've heard of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's important to realize that in Paris, you're looking at about $7.06 a gallon for fuel. Almost half of that is taxes. Now, if we follow what the UN reported, what they want to do is have a $49 a gallon gas tax in 12 years. And we need that, they say, to fight global warming, to fight climate change. Well, that would be a 14-fold increase on the taxes in France. In America, where the average is 49 cents per gallon of taxes, you go to $49, that's 100 times increase in fuel taxes. It would wreak havoc on the middle class, and it would utterly alter the U.S. economy.
But here's what I'm confused by, is that, okay, I understand there's people who are sincerely concerned about climate change. I get it. I'm not denying its existence. But the solutions baffle me. So why tax gas, which only hurts the middle class? Why not tax, I don't know, Soul Cycle or expensive dinners? Or how about close the carried interest loophole? Or how about a finance tax? Or how about banning private airplanes? But that's never up for debate, ever. Why?
Well, again, I think this is about control. This is about who gets to decide where we live and how we get to work, the life that we live. And Tucker, what's really disturbing to me is we just had the National Climate Assessment published by the federal government. And a key part of that report that was touted by the New York Times and CNN said that our economy would be 10% smaller by the year 2100 and that thousands of people would die because of climate change. What was not reported, however, is the people behind the study were Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, the two left-wing billionaires that want to be our next president. They were the ones, along with the federal government, unfortunately, who financed this study that had no new science, but used very questionable economic modeling to say that things are going to be really bad in 80 years.
Well, then I just wonder, though, I mean, both those guys are for a gas tax, but instead of a gas tax, why don't they just turn over their billions to the federal treasury and we can use that money to fight climate change? I mean,
well, because
this is a wealth transfer from the middle class to people who are already rich.
Right. Well, that wouldn't change our behavior, right? So then you have to do things that change behavior, and the only way you can do that is by taxing gas a lot.
Yeah. Taxing the middle class, which they hate. Chuck, thank you very much. Great to see you.
Thank you.